I'm Courtney Foster-Donahue, and you're watching The Courtney Show, a weekly series for business owners who don't take themselves too seriously. And this week, we're going to talk about one of my favorite business strategies, and that is serial content. No, not serial killer. No, not breakfast cereal. No, not Serial the podcast. Serial content, like a series, something that recurs on a consistent basis, over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, like that, but just, it'll be good. Now, here's what I know, and this is one of those whether you like it or not kind of truths. The most successful people in the world have a few things in common, and one of those is consistency. And just to clarify, consistency is not trying something for 2 or 3 weeks to see if it works. Some of the greatest actors, singers, and athletes in the world will tell you that they're not necessarily the best at what they do in all of the world, they're just the most consistent. They are the ones who keep showing up over and over again, putting themselves out there over and over again, day after day, week after week, year after year, over and over again, over and over again. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, this is also true for some of the most successful businesses and brands in the world. The best products are not necessarily the ones that always dominate the marketplace. Not at all. It's way more about consistency, about top of mind awareness, or TOMA. In fact, some of the most talented people are wasting away in obscurity. I know because I know a lot of them. And by choosing to not put themselves out there more consistently, they'll never reach as many people as they could. They'll never get that coveted top of mind awareness, or TOMA. So this all leads to the question, how does one stay top of mind? There are so many ways, but in my experience, one of the best ways to stay top of mind is through serial content. No. Serial, like a series. Now, there are some examples of businesses doing series well, but for the best examples, we have to look outside of the world of business and look to television. Now, I know this is cringeworthy for a lot of entrepreneurs because it's become like this weird badge of honor to never watch television and only read personal development books. I see this every day, but I will argue that if you're a business owner in the 21st century, if you're making video marketing and really content marketing in general a priority, which a lot of us should be doing, then you want to learn from the best. And the best isn't necessarily in your newsfeed. It's on television. Now, I don't just mean the commercials, though there's a lot of good in there too, but I mean the actual TV shows, which come to us in the form of a series. Now, here's why TV series, and really all series for that matter, work so well. Because humans are creatures of story and creatures of habit. Let's talk about that first one. When we are not working, when we have downtime or leisure time, we seek out story in one form or another. After all, the oldest form of history is oral history, so it's ingrained in us to seek out story in all its forms. We scroll through our news feed and see snippets of stories. We read books and magazines and listen to podcasts, all forms of stories. We listen to radio shows. We watch television. We go to the movies. We listen to music. At all corners of our lives, story is present. And when we interact with other humans, much of those interactions are based around sharing stories. So it would stand to reason that if we want to capture attention, then doing so through story is a smart move. And this is even more effective when we deliver stories in a recurring series over and over again. Which brings us to the second reason that series work so well, and that is because humans are also creatures of habit. We have habits, our habits form routines, and we thrive off of their predictability. That's why when you deliver content to an audience consistently on the same day of the week or on the same day of the month consistently, you'll always grow an audience over time because consistency causes a snowball effect. But of course, the focus here is doing it consistently. It's for this reason that television shows are the most successful when they're in the same time slot year after year, season after season. And it's no secret that it's the kiss of death more often than not for television series when they move from consistently being Monday nights at 8 p.m. to suddenly being Thursday Thursdays at 7 p.m. Sure, the diehard fans will follow that series wherever it goes, but the more passive fans that could have maybe become more diehard fans suddenly stop watching the show altogether. Why? Because it didn't show up consistently at the previously scheduled time. It was out of their routine. It became a habit that they could break more easily, and suddenly they go from mostly watching the series every week to not really watching it at all. And this is the same kind of thing that happens to us when we just put out sporadic bursts of content with no real consistency. It's for this reason that the brands who are the most consistent, who show up when they say they're going to show up over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, those are the ones that we think of first. Those are the ones that become known. Those are the brands with true top-of-mind awareness, or TOMA. Of course, television is not the only form of story that utilizes series effectively. There are radio shows, podcast series, book trilogies, movie franchises, and web series like this one, The Courtney Show. And there are lots of ways to utilize serial content for your own content. But before we get to the how-to, and we'll get to that really soon, let's talk about a few more benefits to your business with serial content. First off, serial content builds know, like, and trust. Imagine how many more people would trust you if you show up when you say you're going to show up week after week. Yes, consistency really is just about showing up. And when you do that, you become a part of people's routines. They seek you out week after week. You become reliable. You become trustworthy simply by showing up. By doing this, you become known. And when they resonate with you, they learn to like you. And if they like you, they can trust you. And when you've got that know, like, and trust, you can turn someone from browser to buyer much more quickly. And that leads us to our next benefit. With serial content, you can convert someone from browser to buyer with the magic of what I call browse, binge, buy. By producing serial content, you have this backlog of content always available. It doesn't go anywhere. So when someone is researching your business, trying to weigh a buying decision, they have this backlog of content that they can binge. They can learn about you more quickly, therefore they can develop know, like, and trust more quickly, and they can move from browser to buyer more quickly. Thus, browse, binge, buy. And this is me speaking from experience. With one of our family businesses, we had such a backlog of serial content that we had to do way less selling than our other competitors had to do daily. Another great benefit of serial content is that it establishes your authority as an expert. Now, whether you feel like a true expert or not, this simple act of showing up consistently will craft that perception of you. And as a consumer, you get this too. If someone asks you for a recommendation, you go with the first person that comes to mind, the person who has the most top-of-mind awareness, TOMA. Nothing? Okay, then the final benefit of a series. The final benefit of a series is that you get to write the script, both literally and figuratively. Do you wish that you were known for something in particular? Do you wish that you were perceived as the expert in a particular topic, field, or niche? By producing a series consistently, you can make all of those things happen simply by showing up over and over again. Over and over again. And by doing so, you get to reap all of the benefits of a series. You get to build know, like, and trust faster. You get to serve before you sell. You get to become a fixture in the routines of your followers. Whether your series is a newsletter, a podcast series, a web series, or just a weekly themed social media post, by putting out this high-value content consistently, just once a week really, you get to write the script and decide how your business will be positioned in the marketplace. Now, maybe you're thinking, but what if my niche or industry doesn't really do this? What if no one else out there who does what I do puts out a content series? Just because other people in your industry don't do something doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It doesn't speak to the relevance of the strategy, but rather the immaturity of the industry. So you don't have to follow the herd. You can step out, create a series, and innovate within your industry. And the best news of all, this doesn't have to take a ton of time. This can be something you do once a week, sitting down for just a few minutes, or you can batch it and do a bunch all at once. Once a month or once a quarter, batch all of your content over the course of just a couple of days. And when you're putting out this one hero piece of content each week, the rest of your content kind of takes care of itself. You build up a backlog of serial content, and that creates a delightful domino effect. Now, Your turn. Does your business currently have serial content? Did you used to have a series, but maybe you slowed down with your consistency? Or do you have an idea for a series, but you just haven't taken that next step? Wherever you are in the process, share in the comments below. And if you have a friend or a biz bestie who might benefit from this video, then tag them below to share it with them as well. Above all, remember that you can write the script. You have the choice to show up. And when you do that consistently over and over again, you can shape the perception of your brand. You have the power to do that. And when you do that, you can serve better and more fully. You just have to take the first step and then the next and keep going. Over and over again. 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 Like that.
Short little thing.
D, 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 D.
One more short little thing to film.
Beep, beep. We don't need the audio for this, right? Because we just have the music.
We just have some background.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi.
I'll see you later, bud.
Hi.